Hello, and welcome to Monmouthshire Mysteries, in which we explore supernatural and mystical experiences taking place not just all over the world, but hopefully also within the South Wales area in general. I've been meaning to share an experience with you for a while that occurred to me on July 19th that I believe classifies as some kind of ufological phenomenon. Now, I use the term UFO not to denote necessarily that I saw a spacecraft, but that I saw some kind of aerial phenomena which could not easily or rationally be cognized as something more obviously earthly and mundane. I was out walking on the field behind my house, where I often walk the dog. It was about 9 p.m. It was midsummer, so it was still bright then, but just beginning to get a bit dusky to the point where I could see the stars beginning to emerge lower on the horizon. And to the east, I could see Jupiter and Saturn rising out of the mountains. So I was in stargazing mode then. I'm interested in astronomy, and I'm also interested in ornithology, so I'm often looking to the skies either for stars or birds. And I was in this mode of looking out for new stars emerging out of the gradually dusking sky, when I became aware of hovering just over Abergavenny, directly in the south, over the centre of town, an orange pinkish orb of light moving slowly in a very graceful fashion over the town. And my first thought when I saw it, because of the colour, was, oh, Mars shouldn't be over there that early. And then, of course, I saw that it was moving and realised it was something else. And it was definitely no aircraft. It was making no kind of noise whatsoever. And within the space of say, about 7 seconds of watching this very definite orb of light move over the town centre, it just dematerialized and vanished before my eyes. So my first thought when I wasn't out looking for something strange. It just fell very beautifully into my lap. My first thought, was to try and think of it as being something rational until it dematerialized and did something very unusual. And there was also the fact that just looking at it, it didn't feel just like a non-sentient object. It felt like it wanted to be seen, like it was conscious of being seen, and as though it felt like a living sentience. It had a definite numinous presence to it. And it interested me because I've heard other reports of people seeing UFO-type phenomena in Abergavenny. One, again, by a noted ornithologist who shall go nameless, who reported seeing a similar object in the Pennyval area, which he described as being like a ball of plasma, again, moving around silently, but in a much more erratic fashion that would be impossible for any aircraft, which, again, he was familiar with. Before suddenly seeming to go up the color spectrum and then disappear. And that habit of moving up the color spectrum before disappearing is a known facet of UFO reports, which some see as presaging the fact that they are able to move interdimensionally, in that they haven't actually disappeared, they've just moved to another dimension where we can't see them, where they've gone beyond the scope of visibility, because human eyes are only capable of seeing within a very small range on the optic spectrum. But the thing that also interests me in the report is the timing of it. Now, they're often with seemingly supernatural or mystical occurrences. They don't just happen out of the blue when nothing of interest is happening. They are often omens of transitions in people's lives. And that was certainly the case for me. I shan't go into the detail as to what was going on in my life, but they often, like with the Mothman in Point Pleasant, come at significant moments in people's lives to signify that a big change is coming along. In that sense, these experiences are almost omens of change. They don't just happen haphazardly. They don't happen accidentally. They are invitations to approach the world in a more aware manner, to look at your life consciously rather than just to live it on autopilot, to stop asking questions, because most of us get stuck in comfort zones, not just of physicality, but comfort zones of force in which we live within very small parameters that reduce our capacity to actually engage with life in a meaningful way. So when something unusual happens that you can't instantly cognize and fit within your usual paradigm of experience, it sends you into that Neptunian realm where suddenly you question everything, where the very foundations on which you based your life and understanding of it are shaken. And I was just positing a theory to a good friend of mine about the way in which different phenomena manifest themselves. So some people see things that seem like definite spacecraft, or they see mysterious beings, whether aliens or cryptids, that appear to be very definitely physical, whereas for others, they are approached by things that are more obviously illusory, more obviously non-corporeal, and of a psychic and supernatural nature. And ultimately, to me, I feel the reason there is this disparity in whether these experiences are obviously physical or non-corporeal is down to how the phenomena wants to reach the viewer. Now, to someone who lives a very mundane, only what is physical exists type of existence, they won't be able to be reached by dreams, by psychic visions, by more obviously numinous experiences, because they've shut off that side of thing. They've said that's not possible, and therefore I won't perceive it, because our minds can only interpret so much data at a given time. And so if we've relegated to something as being impossible or not worthy of our attention, we just won't see it. And in that case, this phenomena has to manifest in a physical way, because that is the only way such a person will take it seriously. That is the only way it can reach them. All of this phenomena is banging itself against our consciousness, asking us to take attention of the fact that we don't truly understand life and to engage with it in a deeper way. And, for some people it has to put in more effort than others. Whereas for someone who, say, is more spiritually inclined or open to psychic realities, they can reach them through non-corporeal forms, like dreams, like visions, like sleep paralysis, or through the mechanism of your imagination. It doesn't have to go to such an energetic expense of making itself appeal corporeal and valid. But yeah, that's just a kind of a tenuous line of thought that emerged from me thinking about these experiences and how they are omens of things to come. But anyway, if any of you have any unusual experiences that you would like to share with me, or have seen or experienced things of a similar nature, please get in contact, as I would love to hear your story. Thank you very much for watching. Over and out.